Salut, bienvenue dans la chaîne de bébé. Et oui, on dirait que j'ai 12 ans et demi, parce que je me suis rasé et je suis allé chez le coiffeur. Dans la chaîne de bébé, on est au top de la santé, hein, on est à la pointe du développement. Et donc aujourd'hui, on va voir un épisode du Dr House qui traite quelqu'un avec de la vitamine C à haute dose. Donc merci à Tony Montoya pour l'info. Mais vous allez voir, c'est pas triste.
Et chez elle, explorer son frigo et ses placards.
Bon, là, ils se prennent la tête sur le diagnostic, hein, ils essaient de trouver la solution, c'est Dr House.
Pas le botulisme, c'est la polio.
Bravo, on va chercher si elle n'a pas une relique de Roosevelt ou une machine à explorer le temps.
Elle a peut-être croisé une personne qui revenait d'Afrique et qui...
Elle a été vaccinée.
Hop là, elle a été vaccinée. Bon, vous savez que dans la chaîne de bébé, on n'est pas très fan des vaccins. Parce que ça n'a pas forcément fait ses preuves. Hein. Voilà, Pasteur, on ne sait pas trop hein, si c'était du lard ou du boudin. Et puis, tu as tous les gens qui portent plainte parce qu'ils ont des soucis. Tu as par exemple l'association Stacy. C'est un joli prénom, Stacy. Ben, c'était le prénom d'un bébé. C'était deux jumeaux, deux jumelles. Et suite à la vaccination, il y en a une qui est morte. Voilà. Et donc, les parents portent plainte. Évidemment, le problème dans ce genre de situation, c'est mettre en relation le vaccin et ensuite la maladie ou la mort. Et bon, les labos ont plus de fric pour payer des meilleurs avocats. Enfin. Donc voilà, c'est encore une enculade. Dans les vaccins, tu as des métaux lourds, des merdes. Ça entraîne des fibromyalgies, voilà, des maladies à la con. Enfin voilà. Je sais que là, on regarde une série télévisée, mais bon, je suis pas un fan de Dr House, je regarde pas trop, mais peut-être vous connaissez mieux que moi. J'imagine que la plupart des trucs sont vérifiés, et voilà, c'est des vraies infos qu'ils donnent pour donner de la crédibilité à leur série. Même si c'est romancé, tout ça, bon. Et puis en plus, quand tu rentres ta journée de boulot, tu regardes ça et ça te fout des idées dans le crâne. On continue, donc la vaccination. Un premier message.
Les effets s'estompent.
Il n'y a pas eu un seul cas dans le pays depuis plus de 20 ans.
J'ai vu des...
Il n'y a pas eu un seul cas dans le pays depuis plus de 20 ans. Ça, je pense que ça doit être vrai, comme info. En France, c'est pareil, parce que je crois que les cas de polio sont obligés d'être déclarés. C'est, ouais, voilà, il y a plus de maladies dans nos pays, et on continue à vacciner. Donc ceux qui sont pour la vaccination vont dire, ben, c'est grâce au vaccin qu'il n'y a plus la maladie. Mais en même temps, s'il n'y a plus la maladie, pourquoi on se vaccine? Enfin bon. Ça rapporte de l'argent à certaines personnes.
Des gens en être atteints, je sais la reconnaître.
C'est pour ça que vous la voyez.
Bon, ils se prennent la tête,
Je
hein.
m'occupe du traitement contre le botulisme. Vous cherchez pour confirmer.
Je sais qu'il ne peut pas être interrompu, mais vous allez encore moins aimer dans 2 secondes.
Vous faites des analyses sans que je le demande.
Oui, je sais, je suis vraiment désolé. D'un autre côté, c'est positif. Qu'est-ce qu'on fait, Patrick?
Je suis désolé. Je me suis buté, j'ai été arrogant.
L'autoflagellation, ça la sauvera pas.
Qu'est-ce qui peut aider quelqu'un qui a la polio? On n'en guérit pas.
On n'en guérit pas?
Mais il y a des traitements.
On n'en guérit pas, mais il y a des traitements. Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire?
Non, elle va mourir.
Ok, elle va mourir. Bah, je pense qu'ils connaissent pas la chaîne de VV, parce que sinon, s'ils avaient Google, tac, ils tapent la chaîne de VV. Ben, tu as le docteur Kleiner qui a bossé avec, c'est quoi, du chlorure de magnésium, c'est ça? Bon, peut-être que l'épisode aurait été naze si tu les vois aller dans une pharmacie, donner 1,50 € et se ramener avec un sachet. Je sais pas combien il en faut pour traiter la polio, mais franchement, tu vois, je crois que c'est le docteur Kleiner, hein, de mémoire. Vous savez très bien que je peux dire des conneries, mais c'est pas grave. Vous avez qu'à vérifier, vous tapez sur Google polio, chlorure de magnésium, c'est le docteur Frédéric Kleiner. Voilà, il a même traité des cas, donc 100% de ces cas ont été traités et soignés avec du chlorure de magnésium et ou de la vitamine C. Même sur des cas où la polio avait commencé à rendre le muscle flasque, en injection intramusculaire, ça a rétabli le processus. Donc c'est quand même super, mais je pense qu'ils connaissent pas la chaîne de VV. Personne n'est parfait, on continue.
La vitamine C a des doses extrêmement fortes. Il y a eu des travaux de recherche dans les années 50 sur le sujet.
Ils sont toujours à l'étude.
On aura supprimé les...
Parce qu'il n'y a pas de logique entre la vitamine C et la guérison de la polio.
Des gens l'ont pensé.
Des gens ont pensé que le peuple noir maniait mieux la pioche.
Je ne dis pas ça pour qui que ce soit. Je voudrais la forcer à ingérer du jus d'orange.
Avec et du bacon.
Si vous avez une leçon à retenir, c'est que vous n'êtes pas à l'abri d'une erreur. Nous allons essayer un protocole expérimental. C'est nouveau, bon, c'est très vieux, la vitamine C. À très haute dose, ça détruirait le virus de la polio et réparait les lésions nerveuses. Et elle pourrait à nouveau...
Bon, j'accélère un peu. Surtout que ça bug de la folie. Ils sont là, ils essayent le protocole. Il pique ses orteils, elle est contente, elle le sent, machin. Voilà. Et puis finalement, fin de l'épisode.
On a sauvé la pilote.
Elle avait la polio, on l'a guérie avec de la vitamine C.
Bien sûr. J'ai soigné une dépression pétillante un jour. Bien qu'il y avait un peu de jeans aussi.
150 grammes toutes les 6 heures. Et ça a marché.
C'est l'idée. Non, c'est faux, il a dit.
Je vous ai dit que ça soignait pas la polio. La guérie. Soit elle
Bon voilà, ils se prennent la tête, machin. Et en fait, c'était l'autre, là, lui, là, qui avait falsifié les résultats, machin. Voilà, c'était pour aider. Voilà. Parce qu'il dit que personne ne fait de recherche dans les pays pauvres pour soigner les pays pauvres et tout ça. Ouais, donc frustration, là, ouais, vitamine C, haute dose, machin, et non, finalement, c'est de la merde. Donc maintenant, on va voir, vite fait, des trucs cool sur la vitamine C à haute dose.
Now, this is a story of a man, a dairy farmer, who came back from the dead. Doctors were all set to turn off his life support, but his family refused to give up. They demanded the hospital try high doses of vitamin C. Well, as Melanie Reid will show you, it turned into a fight. The specialists didn't believe such a treatment would work, but, well, suffice to say, the farmer is no longer on death's door, and his family claim he's living proof.
This is Aotearoa farmer Alan Smith in Auckland's intensive care unit, shortly before the doctors told his family his life support should be turned off and he be allowed to die. Alan's story began on June 28, 2009. He arrived at Auckland International Airport after a fishing trip with mates in Fiji. In Tauranga Hospital, Alan was swabbed for swine flu. After 2 days, his deterioration was so dramatic, the 3 sons and 8 grandchildren arrived, warned this could be a final goodbye. Crew flew in from Auckland with a portable ECMO machine, a complex life support system which takes over the function of the lungs. Grandkids had surrounded their papa before he was airlifted north. Alan lay in a coma in Auckland Hospital, heavily medicated, ECMO and other machines keeping him alive. Sonia began a detailed diary.
Saturday, 4th of July. Told this morning that it's 100% swine flu with no other bacteria.
These are those clouded out X-rays. Alan developed what's known as whiteout pneumonia. This is when the lungs can't be seen by X-ray, so full of infected fluids they are unable to take in any air whatsoever. For weeks on end, Alan's condition changed little, hovering close to death. Just as the family thought things couldn't get any worse, Alan was diagnosed with hairy cell leukemia. Auckland Hospital notes to the family say,
"The type of leukemia Mr. Smith has is potentially treatable if that's all he had. However, with his lung failure, Mr. Smith cannot survive."
Monday the 20th of July, United States specialist came, Alan still same, asked for meeting at 3 p.m, told us they were going to turn off life support.
While Auckland Hospital refused to take part in this story, 60 Minutes has obtained Alan Smith's medical files and records of that Monday meeting.
This morning we, the CVICU consultants, met and discussed with the ECMO specialist from America, Mr. Smith's situation. The group is in unanimous agreement that Mr. Smith should be removed from ECMO and be allowed to die. Continuing is only prolonging his inevitable death.
My brother just stepped in and he said, "No, you haven't tried everything. You've got to try vitamin C intravenously, high doses." And they just said no.
The family pleaded with doctors that Alan be administered high-dose vitamin C, a treatment right outside of mainstream medicine. So what was the doctor's reaction?
Oh, they said no because there's no proof of it doing anything or doing...
I said, if you lie on that bed for as long as he had without vitamin C, you will die too, just like he's going to.
They pulled and showing and told me, they sound like giving up, Just like when you got a dead cow down, it's... I said, well...
They'd given up.
Well, I said to them, just force this vitamin C in them so it actually happens. And
It'd be fair to say the Smith boys, Paul, Josh and Shane, weren't backwards in coming forward.
I says, what have you got to lose, mate? You give me one good reason what you guys have got to lose by trying it. I says, because it's not fair that we, all of us, should go on living our lives with the thought in the back of our minds, you know, if only we'd pushed and tried harder, would it have saved them?
They were all about to find out if they'd pushed hard enough. The next day, Tuesday, Auckland Hospital arranged another family meeting.
All of intensive care unit medical staff have met again. We are all in agreement that vitamin C will be of no benefit. We all agree Mr. Smith will not survive. However, one member feels slightly uneasy that we should wait a little longer before taking Mr. Smith off ECMO. It's therefore reasonable to wait until Friday. If Mr. Smith has shown no improvement by then, he will be taken off ECMO. In the meantime, given the family's strong beliefs about vitamin C, we are willing to give this over the next 2 days.
So, Tuesday night, he got his first dose of 25 grams through the IV, and Wednesday morning he got another 25 grams. The Wednesday afternoon they did a CT scan on his chest, and that's when they found the air pockets in his lungs, whereas the x-rays had showed just complete white.
So, Alan's x-rays. Before high-dose intravenous vitamin C, so full of infected fluid, the lungs can't be seen. This x-ray taken after 2 days of high-dose vitamin C treatment. The lungs dramatically improved and readily visible. By D-Day, the Friday when Alan Smith was destined to die, when the ECMO life support was to be withdrawn, turned out to be the day Alan Smith was destined to, well, maybe, survive.
Mr. Smith is stable but still critical. He has improved over the last couple of days. Turning Mr. Smith prone has probably made the biggest difference. His chest x-ray is better.
They didn't agree or believe that the vitamin C turned him around, because...
What did they think turned him around?
Coincidentally, the same time as he started getting his vitamin C, they proned him, which was turning him over onto his stomach. So that's their argument on that's why he got better. So my question to that is, why didn't you try that before even suggesting to turn the machine off?
So less than a week after the high-dose vitamin C was started, Alan had improved to the point that he could be taken off ECMO life support.
Sunday 26th July, got taken off.
Then, just as the family felt they could breathe a bit easy themselves, Alan's health started to dive. They would find the vitamin C had been stopped.
I got quite serious with that doctor.
3 days later, the vitamin C was restarted, but only very low doses of 1 gram twice a day.
He was on 100 grams per day, improving rapidly, very rapidly. And then he went downhill rapidly when they stopped it, cold turkey. When he got put back on vitamin C after that heated meeting, it was at a very low dose. And once again he started recovering, but it was a slow recovery.
By early August, still critical and still in an induced coma, but by now breathing on a ventilator, Alan was airlifted closer to home, to intensive care at Waikato Hospital, who, like Auckland Hospital, wouldn't be interviewed. It was here the Smith family found they had another scrap on their hands.
A doctor comes on and stops it. And
stops the vitamin C?
Stops the vitamin C.
And says what?
Why? And he said, well, this stuff has come down with him and we don't know what it is. So here we go again, another fight.
This time they brought in the heavyweights. Wellington public law specialist May Chen warned Waikato Hospital.
The decision to discontinue the high-dose intravenous vitamin C treatment without consulting with Alan's family is in breach of Right 7 of the Health and Disability Commissioner's Code of...
So they agreed to give him a couple of grams of vitamin C a day?
Yeah.
And you wanted him to be on like 50 grams a day?
That's right. Yeah.
Oral lipospheric vitamin C into him, and that's when he once again recovered really fast.
After a total of 9 weeks in a coma, Alan eventually was woken, which is when Sonia began administering vitamin C to Alan herself, using a special high-dose oral form known as lipospheric. The next step was meant to be months of rehabilitation.
I was taking 6 grams of that a day of the lipospheric.
Know, Alan, that there will be many health professionals who say that it is not scientifically possible that your recovery is because of having high doses of intravenous vitamin C.
Well, they can say what they like, really, because basically I am alive. I was supposed to be dead. They wanted to turn me off, and here I am, I'm alive.
Just a note, Alan Smith no longer shows any signs of having leukemia. Alan Smith's survival has been described as one of the most remarkable and controversial turnarounds in New Zealand medical history.
And now he's receiving the vitamin C. And to a lot of people, it's a shock to hear that we're using vitamin C as an oxidant, because most of the studies published on vitamin C are about its very incredible antioxidant capability. But at the NIH, a number of researchers led by the head of research of the NIH, and his name is Mark Levin, he's published 6 or 7 papers on the fact that we need to review the whole principle of vitamin C and how it works. Because he was able to determine that at very high dosages and provided in a very short time, that is when the drips actually go very, very fast. It has to go at 1 gram per minute. So in his case, we're giving him 30 grams, and the 30 grams are going to go in 30 minutes. It's a very, very fast solution, and that's why it's almost done in this very short period of time. And when you give vitamin C in very high concentrations, in the presence of oxygen, it will produce peroxide. And peroxide is the actual killing agent for malignant cells. Now, if we have a lot of oxygen all over the body, why is it not damaging to the rest of the body? Is because we produce incredible amounts of enzymes that neutralize peroxide. But the tumors don't have that capability. And so we have prepared him with the vitamin K and oxygen. When you see the other video from him, he had oxygen, so that we know that we have all the oxygen available and the electron donors from the vitamin K. And now we can do very high dosage vitamin C as chemotherapy. That's the capacity of vitamin C in very high dosages to kill tumors is very similar to chemotherapy. And you can find all of those publications by Mark Levin and his group from the NIH, and some of the reports also have been published from the NCI, the National Cancer Institute. So vitamin C, we've used vitamin C for many, many years as an anti-tumor agent, but we thought, because nobody had this information until very recently, from 2000 to 2005, and 2005 were the publications, that we found the mode of action of vitamin C as an anti-tumor agent. We thought from Linus Pauling to 2000 that it was the antioxidative capability. But no, it's exactly the opposite. It's because in very high dosages and given in a very short time, you will have an oxidative process going on with vitamin C. And so that just proves the point of what we learn in pharmacology. Pharmacology 101 teaches you, well, for those of you that are not in America, 101 means the most basic study of pharmacology. We are taught always that the difference between the venom and the cure is not the element, but the dose. In other words, water can be benign in certain amounts and can be deadly for you, the same water, in very high amounts. And the same happens with any element. At certain dosages it will work in one way, and at different dosages it works in a different way. And so this is what happens with vitamin C. At very high dosages and provided in a very short time, it actually produces peroxide, and thus it is an oxidative agent. Vitamin C in different dosages as a detoxifying agent after chemotherapy, for instance, or radiation therapy. Why? Because the way those elements work is through the production of free radicals, especially radiation therapy. And so we use then vitamin C as an antioxidant, as most of us know it. And the results have been very, very good. What I can tell you, for instance, in a study that we did, 5-year continuous study, we found that vitamin C in high dosages, patients that receive vitamin C in high dosages, using it as chemotherapy, we have a 20-fold survival rate in comparison to conventional therapy. So in cancer of the lung is where it's most effective. In cancer of the colon, it's only 2-fold. In cancer of the breast, it's about 3 to 4-fold. Still, it's very impressive, but it doesn't work for all patients. So what does that mean? It means that with conventional therapy, usually less than 1% of the patients that were diagnosed with stage 4 cancer of the lung are alive after 5 years. With our therapy, about 20% of our patients are alive.